So, Disney has just rolled out its newest, most exclusive, and yeah, most expensive way to skip the lines. It's called the Premier Pass, and it basically promises you this perfect, totally stress-free day at the park. But that perfection comes with a pretty jaw-dropping price tag. So what's the deal? Is this the future of visiting a theme park, or is it just a luxury perk for the super rich? Let's get into it.
Okay, here's what we're going to cover. First, what problem is this new VIP pass even trying to solve? Then we'll get into how it actually works, and yeah, we have to talk about that shocking price tag. After that, we'll see what a day without lines really feels like on the ground. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with the big question. Is this thing actually worth it for you?
All right, first things first. To really get what the Premier Pass is all about, you got to understand the problem it's trying to fix. And that problem? The crazy complexity of just trying to skip a line at Disney these days.
You know this quote from James over at Guide to WDW? It just hits the nail on the head. He says it's much better and much, much, much more expensive. And that right there is the whole story in a nutshell. The experience of being in the park is way better, but wow, you're going to pay for it.
So let's talk about the before and after here, because it's a huge difference. The old way, man, it was a whole thing. You had to juggle two different systems, multi-pass and single pass. It meant setting a 7 a.m. alarm on your vacation, being glued to your phone, constantly refreshing, trying to figure out all these complicated rules. It was a job. But the Premier Pass, it's designed to just wipe all that away. No more reservations, no more staring at your phone all day, just simple access to pretty much every ride.
So how does this thing actually work? Well, the big idea here isn't just about skipping the lines. I mean, that's part of it, of course. But the real luxury Disney's selling? It's skipping the stress of planning how you're going to skip those lines.
Okay, so here's the official definition. The Lightning Lane Premier Pass is basically a premium add-on to your ticket. It's designed to make everything super simple. You buy it for a single day, and boom, you get one-time, reservation-free access to nearly every ride with the Lightning Lane. No booking windows, no stressing about return times, just walk up and ride. And when you're actually in the park, it really is that easy. Seriously, you just go to whatever ride you want, arrive whenever you want, tap in, and you're good to go. That's it. It's that kind of spontaneous, carefree day that, honestly, a lot of us have been missing.
Okay, but here's a super important rule you have to know. Even for all that money, this is not an unlimited ride-all-you-want pass. It's one and done. You get one trip through the Lightning Lane for each ride per day. So if you fall in love with Rise of the Resistance and want to ride it again, you're hopping in the regular standby line with everybody else.
All right, so we've covered the simplicity, the convenience. It all sounds pretty great, right? Well, now it's time to talk about the price, and you might want to brace yourself for this one. Okay, so at Disneyland in California, if you want the Premier Pass, which covers both parks for one day, you're looking at somewhere between $300 and $400. Yeah, per person. And that is on top of your regular park ticket. And over at Walt Disney World in Florida, it's a little different. There, you buy the pass just for one park at a time, and the price changes based on the park and how busy it is. And get this, for the most popular park, Magic Kingdom, it can go all the way up to almost $450 for one person, for one day, just to skip the lines.
And it's not like just anyone can buy this thing either. Over at Disneyland, it's available to all guests, sure. But at Disney World, it started as a pilot program that was only for people staying at the most expensive deluxe resorts. And no matter where you are, Disney is making one thing very clear. The number of these passes they sell each day is extremely limited.
Okay, so that's the what and the how much. But what's it actually like to use it for a whole day? What does it feel like? Well, let's take a look at a real-world test from the SoCal Disney dad and see how his day with the Premier Pass actually went down.
And this quote from him really gets to the heart of it. He said, "I do absolutely love that I don't have to mess with the Disneyland app. It is amazing." And that was the biggest takeaway. The best part wasn't even just the short waits, it was the freedom. Freedom from being chained to your phone, refreshing the app, trying to book the next thing. It's about actually getting to be present in the park again.
Let's put this into perspective with a real example. So, on the day he was there, the standby line for a huge ride like Star Wars Rise of the Resistance was posted at 75 minutes. 75! That's more than an hour of your precious park time just waiting.
And with the Premier Pass, his total time from the second he stepped into the line to the second he got off the ride was only 18 minutes.
And that includes all the pre-shows and everything. You're saving almost a full hour on one ride. I mean, that is a night and day difference. So yeah, the pros here are pretty obvious. You can just casually walk through the park, going from one ride to the next, no zigzagging across the map. You're finally free from your phone, and you can actually hit all the big-ticket rides in a single day, even the super popular ones that used to cost extra all by themselves.
But look, it's not perfect. It's not magic. One key thing to remember is you're in the exact same physical line as the people who bought the much cheaper multi-pass, so there's no secret shortcut there. And you can accidentally waste your pass early in the morning on a ride that has no line anyway. And hey, rides still break down. During the test, Guardians of the Galaxy went down, and he still ended up waiting for 45 minutes. So it's not a guarantee of instant access.
Okay, so we've seen how it works, how much it costs, and what a day with it actually feels like. So now for the final verdict. Let's pull all this together and figure out, could this super expensive pass actually be worth the money?
And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, when you're shelling out hundreds of extra dollars on top of a ticket that's already pricey, the value better be incredible.
So who is this actually for? Well, it's pretty clear. It's perfect for guests who have just one single day and want to do everything. It's for people who want a ride-heavy day without any of the stress and planning. If you're someone who just wants to put your phone away and enjoy the park, this is for you. And of course, it's for anyone celebrating a huge special occasion where you're just willing to splurge to make it perfect. For those people, it absolutely delivers.
And in the end, it really all comes down to this one question. Disney is basically putting a price tag on a perfect day. They're betting that for some of us, eliminating all the stress, all the planning, and all the waiting is worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So the only real question left to ask is, how much would you pay for a perfect day?